Hello everyone, this is Bodhi, and welcome back to another episode on the Cornerstone SMP. Today we are finally going to be starting our Christmas minigame that will be a fun time, hopefully, for the entire server. And I am pretty excited to start this off because this will be one of the first episodes where I can sort of show you guys my redstone skills, or the lack thereof. Honestly, I'm not a big redstoner, but I'm excited to do this project, so honestly, let's get right into it. Okay, so if we take a step back here into our workshop that we built in the last episode, you can see that I did some interior work. At the end of the last episode, it was literally just blank. And oh, I totally forgot. I need to get some more dark oak. I literally ran out of dark oak logs right with these 2 blocks. I need 2 logs, but I don't have any on me. Actually, wait, maybe I do. Hold on. Let me check the wood chest. Ooh, we do. Okay. Okay, we finished the interior. That's a little embarrassing. I totally forgot that I didn't put these in yet. Okay, there we go. It's done now. Alright, anyways, yeah, so we did the interior. We have a little area right here. No, like, decorations, really. It's sort of just empty, but believe it or not, the minigame is actually going to fit in this area right here because we only need a few blocks that'll actually be shown. The rest of the work will be done underground in the form of redstone contraptions and stuff like that. Upstairs, it's pretty barren. We don't have much. I put some like beams across the roof to make it look nicer, but I don't think we're going to use the top floor too much. I just have my resources in here, and I got a bunch of redstone resources ready to do the build. I don't know if we'll need more than this. Hopefully not. But yeah, I think that we should probably get started on this. So the first thing that we're gonna want to do is create a little area that is gonna be sort of the conveyor belt that the items will slide across. And before we build that, I should probably explain what this minigame is, because I realize I explained it in the last episode, but I haven't. If you didn't see that, then you probably won't really know what's going on. So this minigame is going to be sort of it's going to be pretty simple. Some items will be dispensed that are sort of going to be like presents, Christmas presents, and you will have to sort out you'll have to sort out different colors from each other, and if you get one of them wrong, then you'll have to restart, and so you have to sort only the correct color, and you'll have to get a certain amount, and if you beat the game, then you will be dropped down into a room where you can collect your gift. And we have a ton of those that we got in the last episode. I don't have them on me. They're back at my base. But they're really good. They're some pretty good gifts for the server members. And they can try it as many times as they want until they pass the game. So it's not like if you fail once, you're out. You can keep trying until you get to collect your presents. So no one should be too upset about it. But yeah, that's the pretty brief explanation. But let's get started on doing some of the redstone here. Okay, so we got this first part done, and what this is basically, like I said, the conveyor belt that the items are going to slide across. So if we stand right here, as you can see, it looks like we would be able to fit through here, but we actually can't since there's a trapdoor on the bottom and the top, so we can't quite fit through it. As you can see, we're a bit taller. If we shift, we can, but obviously we're going to say not to do that because then you'll end up down here. Don't want that to happen. But the point for having a trapdoor here instead of like a slab or something is that way it still lets you throw the fishing rod line, which we don't have yet. We'll get that later on. And then shoot at the items down there as they slide across and then pull them. And so basically if you grab an item and pull it towards you, it'll go into these hoppers. But if you miss the item, it'll end up in this hopper right here. And the items will be sliding from water stream across here. The water stream will end and then they'll slide across the blue ice on their own. And then basically we are going to have to sort out which one's which, and I'm going to use sort of a redstone counting system to tell how many of a certain type ended up in this line and how many of a certain type ended up in here. And then basically if you get one of the wrong ones, you're out, or you lose, and if you get enough of the correct type, then you win. So I tried this and it took me about 3 or 4 attempts to get it right and actually beat it, so it hopefully shouldn't be too hard for the server members to do it after a few tries, because I don't want it to be a game that you can get like the first try unless you're really good at this for some reason, but it also isn't supposed to be impossible. So I think we kind of nailed it, and we're gonna start putting in some of the redstone components now. Okay, so our first circuit that we built up here is actually just a redstone clock, and as you can see, it's breaking out into the surface level, so I think afterwards we're going to cover this whole area in one layer of dirt, just make it look like it was never even lower here. I also made this beacon in case we have to dig underground, which we probably will at some point. But anyway, the way that this is working is right here is a simple comparator clock that will shoot the items out at a specific timing, and then they'll go down here, slide across the ice. And what this extra part right here is that it will only fire if there's items in the comparator, and this right here is the input. So when the game is turned on, it will turn on this clock, but only if there's items in the dropper. And that's just so that we don't have the noise of a dropper firing repeatedly after they're all shot out. So once they've all been shot out of the hopper, they won't the dropper won't keep firing. Pardon my bad explanations. I have really not done my own redstone on video before, so this is kind of a first. But yeah, this is the dropper clock that will dispense the items into the game to be pulled by the fishing rod. So next, we're gonna want to make the system that restocks the items in this dropper after the game is done, so it'll either probably be coming in from the side or from the top. Probably from the side, so that we don't take up more space that we'll have to terraform over. We'll see how it goes. Okay, yeah, so the next circuit we just built up, really simple. It's basically sort of a different version of this. Basically, this time around, we're going to have the items in this dropper get put back into the system, and basically, the clock is only necessary to be turned on when the game is over, because if it was turned on all the time, then the items would just keep cycling around and the game wouldn't stop. So basically, we have this right here that will disable the clock when we don't want it to be running. So this piston will only extend when the game is finished and the items go back in here. So right now the block's in place, so if we dropped a couple pieces of redstone in here, they would end up in this dropper. But when the game is going, we're going to have this block removed so that the clock doesn't function, and we just have the redstone dust sitting in here. Or it won't be redstone dust, but I think you get the idea. So next thing we're going to want to do is probably move on to the collection system for when the items go into these hoppers. So this is probably going to have to be underground. Alright, so things are starting to get gradually more complicated here, so let me walk you through this next circuit. So if we go ahead and get up here, this is where the ice, the like conveyor belt of the items, they'll slide across here, and then they'll either end up in these hoppers or this hopper based on whether or not you pull them with the fishing rod. Now, the thing to keep in mind here is that all of the items will end up back in the same place, which is where they started. And for some reason, there's a grass block in here. Not sure why. Okay, but anyway, they'll all end up there eventually, but the important part is how they get there, because we need to take note of which items go to which spot. So, here's what we're gonna do. This right here is an item filter system. This filters any items that get pulled off of the conveyor belt. Now, one of them is going to be for, there's going to be green and red presents. One of them is going to be for green presents, and one of them is going to be for red. These are probably just going to be wool or concrete or something like that, but that's not really the point. One of them is going to be for the correct one that you're supposed to be sorting, and one of them is going to be for the wrong one that you're not supposed to pull off of the conveyor belt. Now, the incorrect one, if you pull off one, then you lose the game. That's it. So the way that this one works is it'll filter in, it'll go into this hopper, and it will go in here, and it'll automatically get sent out at a very quick speed thanks to this redstone clock right here. This is one of the fastest ways to shoot them out. So, but the other type, the correct one, we need to specifically count how many of those we get. Because that one, it's not just get one and you're done. That one you need to get a specific amount, or at least a specific amount, I should say. So this fires a lot more slowly. As you can see, if we put some items in there, it fires quite slowly. It goes like every 1 or maybe a little bit over 1 second. So those will get shot out slowly, and each of these will end up in a water stream, but this water stream will have a pressure plate that the items will slide over, And then if they slide over that pressure plate, it will trigger a redstone counter, which is what we're going to build next. And if the counter reaches the full amount, then you will win, assuming you haven't gotten one of the wrong ones. But if it doesn't, then you will also lose. So that's why we have to dispense these out slower than the incorrect type. So let's get working on the water streams and the redstone counter. Okay, so we now have the redstone counter system built, and this circuit is not my design. I actually found a video by, I don't even know who, just someone random on YouTube, and it was from like quite a long time ago, but it still works. If I can find it again, I'll link it in the description, but it's not too complicated. It might look a little weird because the repeater lock system is not something you see very often, but it is in the game, and it does have its uses for sure. So let's demonstrate how this works, and hopefully it'll work first time connected up to this circuit. So let's just put our redstone dust in here. So every time that it goes over that, it should count down one, and it looks like it is doing that. Each time a repeater powers off. So okay, cool. We're almost there. All right, one more. And that's really cool. And then when it's done, we get an output right here. And even if more go across, nothing else happens if more go across, which is really cool because that means that you only have to get at least 10. There won't be anything wrong if you get more than 10. So that's the system right there. And yeah, it's really not complicated at all. And to reset it, we are going to, there's two ways you can reset it. Well, to reset it, you have to power this. So we're going to have a piston with a redstone block. But then also, I'm gonna have it, because if you, let's say that you only had it, like, counted down by 1. So there, we just took 1 off of the counter. Oh, we didn't take 1 off the counter, because the redstone block was still powering it. So, if we take 1 off the counter like that, so we have 1 powered, then we actually can't reset it, because it's locked. So we're gonna have a separate system that first unpowers this piston, yeah. And then that way, they all go off, and then after that piston gets unpowered, it will, and you don't need that block to reset it. So then, once that is unpowered, we'll power it this way. Oh, you do need that block there. So, yeah, we'll have, like, a pulse extender that removes this block and lets these unpower. And then once they're all unpowered, it resets it by putting this block in, like so, to reset it. So that is how the redstone counter will work. And oh boy, my inventory is having some issues here. And yeah, this thing, yeah, like I said, it's getting a bit more complicated. But then this one over here, we're gonna have to have a slightly different circuit. So let me build that. All right, this next part right here is really simple. It's known as an RS NOR latch, and basically it's sort of a memory switch. So basically it lets you swap between 2 outputs. So for example, this will be the default state of it, but let's say that you that you sorted one of the wrong gifts. So then the gift would slide here, power that, and then switch the output that's coming out of here so that this is powered on. But as you can see, if another one comes over, it doesn't change anything. So it's not like a T flip-flop where it swaps every time. It only swaps if you power it from another input. So when the game gets reset, we will go ahead and power this, and then it resets it, allowing it to be powered again if a wrong type comes through. So that is a really simple way of dealing with that. And basically, you do not want to power this. If this gets powered, you will not win the game, because that represents that you have sorted one of the wrong types of presents, and that's considered a fail. So, yeah, so basically you have to sort a specific amount of the red presents and not sort any of the green presents. And also, if you were wondering, this counts 10, because there's going to be 30 presents total, 15 of each color. You have to sort 10 of the red ones and 0 of the green ones to win. So next we're going to hook this up to an AND gate and make sure that A, this isn't powered, and B, this is powered. So the easiest way to do it will be to invert this signal, and then yeah, so actually let's reset this real quick. Must have stepped on the pressure plate. Yeah, because we don't want this to be powered by default. So yeah, let's hook these two up to get our output for whether or not the game will be won. Okay, so a couple things here. First of all, we linked this up. Oops, I've been setting off the counter unintentionally a bunch of times here. But what we did is, now these two water streams obviously lead into this one, and then this actually has a soul sand elevator, takes them up, puts them back into the system. So all the wool, or the presents, whatever it will be, whatever block it's going to be, will end up back in the original eventually. And then the next thing is we constructed the AND gate. So as we can see here, we inverted the signal out of the RS NOR latch because we want this to be off for it to be a victory. So if it's off, it turns this on, and then the on signal goes over here, depowering this torch. But both of these torches have to be depowered because if the counter goes all the way down, this will power on, unpowering this torch, unpowering this redstone, giving us a signal here. So, connected the AND gate. Both of the things, both of the conditions have to be met for that redstone torch to be powered. And then, if we get that redstone torch powered, it means that they win. And so when the game ends, we will set up a system to drop them into the gift room. And something I'm realizing now is that this is probably right underneath the workshop, and I don't know where we're gonna put the gift room. Didn't really think about that. That's gonna be a bit of an issue, but we can figure that out. Okay, so really quickly, I also brought this hopper line over here into a dropper that also will shoot them into the water stream upwards we already have. So that means that basically, whether it ends up not being sorted in here, or if it ends up being sorted into either of these, they'll all end up in the same place, which is this water stream here, which takes them back to the start, and that's our starting circuit. So I think that that's all of the circuits controlling the game, but now what we have to do is sort of make like a control panel for them. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically we have to decide what gets powered and unpowered and reset when the game starts and ends. So that's gonna be actually a little bit complicated, so I'll do my best to walk you guys through it. But yeah, first we're probably going to want to set up a system so that the starter dispenser or dropper all the way at the beginning starts shooting the gifts out when the game starts. So let me get to work on that. Okay, so we're back on top now, and I've started to build up some of the parts that control what turns on and off. So first of all, we have our start button put in, and I think, yeah, we're just going to use a stone button over here. And that will basically start the game. And so this signal goes underground, it goes over here. So it goes underground, it's still down there. If you follow it, it goes all the way over here, and it sends a signal into this second RS NOR latch. It's another one of the same circuits that we put underground. And so basically, if the game is off, then it turns it on by powering this, which will turn this redstone on, meaning that then this will turn on. And then if the comparator also has items in it, then this will be powered and the game will start. So that's how that works. And then there's a second signal that comes out to tell when the game is over. So when this dropper shoots out all of its items, there's nothing left. This comparator turns off. We invert the signal with a redstone torch, take an input out of that, and then send it through a monostable circuit, which basically means it just basically shortens it to a one tick pulse so that it's not constantly powered. So for example, we can check out how this works. So instead of having constant power, it does one signal out like that. And then this technically right here is another type of RS NOR latch. I didn't even realize it when I was building it, but I guess technically it accomplishes the same thing. So yeah, then it will push this redstone block over. So when the redstone block's in this position, the game is not running, or the game has finished. So then if it is already in this position, it will do nothing. But once it gets pushed over for the first time, it will then trigger this, which sends another input over to the RS NOR latch, turning this off so that the dropper will no longer be shooting out items. Yeah, that was a little bit hard to follow even for me, but hopefully you guys understood that. So, next thing we need to do, I think we're almost, honestly, close to finishing this up, but the next thing we need to do is, I think combine the end of the game output with an AND gate detecting if we won or lost. So this is the output that shows that. I brought it up using a redstone torch tower. So if it triggers this block, that means that we win. So right now it's set to a loss because it's not powered. And then basically, I think we'll add in like some flair, like redstone lamps that show you if you won or lost, maybe some note block sounds and stuff like that. We've shown a lot of clips of this thing, so I want to probably just get it finished up now. So here we stand amongst our biggest shulker monster of the season. I really had to grab so many resources for this thing, and I've dipped into a ton of my shulker boxes. Most of them are just missing from my ender chest. But anyway, we almost have this thing finished up now. And I said in the last clip that I was just going to get this thing finished, but that wasn't as easy as I might have thought. A lot of time has passed, and I had to do a lot of just testing and troubleshooting around here, and we've changed and added a good amount of stuff. So I'm not exactly sure where I left things, but basically a couple things that we added are, first of all, down here we added a system that will reset the timer, or not the timer, the counter, and it'll reset the NOR latches over there. Basically, we can do a manual. It doesn't need to be reset, but we can manually reset it right now. So it deactivates this thing, puts it back in the redstone block powers. So the timings on that are absolutely perfect. And then I also added a nice note block thing for both when you get a wrong one and a right one. So this is if you get a correct one. You hear a little chime, and I just added these in. This is if you get a wrong one. You hear a little, like, bad noise. And let's reset it again now, because obviously I just triggered both of the things. So, yeah, that is very cool. I had to do some timings here. A lot of it was somewhat complicated because the thing is, even though we determined the game ending by this thing emptying out, that doesn't actually determine if all the items have been sorted and everything yet. So what we did is we took if that thing is emptied out and then added time onto it using a hopper timer here to wait until we reset the thing. And then also we removed the output to detect whether you won or lost over here. So this is the original AND gate. But then we took instead of sending it upwards, we took a signal out of here, sent it across down through here, and it comes out right over here. And then this is another AND gate, so that this thing will be powered off if you've gotten the correct parameters. But you have to wait until the things until the game is officially over. So that this monostable right here will determine when that. So if these both flicker off, it sends a redstone torch tower upwards. And oops, it's getting to nighttime. And then it sends, and then this is the top of the torch tower, which will power this RS NOR latch. And then that will go ahead and do a couple of things. First of all, it will open inside of our building. It will open the trapdoor that will drop you down into the area, which we haven't made yet. And also, it will show this victory light. So that's very cool. And then we also have a thing that shows when the game is ready, because it needs some time to reset, obviously. So let me get a sleep here, then we can get to work. So we really don't have that much left to do. There's 2 more things I want to implement before I show you guys this game on camera. I've tested it a few times, but I'm not gonna play it quite yet until we're all the way done. So first of all, let's open this trapdoor manually here and drop down. This is where we're going to drop the players into the little gift room. And we actually got pretty lucky, because earlier on I was worried that we might run into something, but it looks like we are not going to. So thank God for that. We have avoided it narrowly. So we can drop them into hatch. We'll probably move this pole down a little bit more. We don't want to collide with the redstone. We'll have to make an exit. And then the one other thing that I want to do is to add like a little rule book here. Not a rule book, but more of a guidebook showing how to play the game. I'll have to put in a lectern. Ooh, smoke through there. Must be a torch. I don't really like that. But anyway, I guess we can cover it with a lectern. And then show people how to play. And then that's probably going to be it for today. Well, it has been quite a while now, and I'm super excited to show you guys what I've been working on. Because a lot has changed in this area. So let's take a look. Alright, so first of all, in this area, like I said, I added a lectern showing people how to play. I won't read through this whole thing. You can pause it if you want to. But if you've been paying attention so far, you probably understand how the game is played. the main thing I let people know is like where to stand. Oh shoot, no! You know what? I didn't mean to do that, but this is where we're going anyway. So, here it is. The room that you fall into when you win. Obviously, that trapdoor up there would be closed. I just had it manually powered with a lever. And this is what I was excited to show you guys. So, right here it says each member can take one gift total. You can do one random swap if you do not like the one you get. Prize is final after one swap or after leaving. Exit behind you. Okay, so the reason I'm letting people do one swap is because let's say they already have easy access to the resources that comes in the box. I don't want them to feel like they got something that wasn't that good, so they can do one random swap. And I mean, there's some really good stuff in here. If you don't know what's in here, I'm not going to show it because that would obviously give away what's in here if the server members are watching. But I show it off in the last video without them being color-coded. So if you want to see those, go ahead and check it out. But anyway, yeah, one swap total if you want to. You don't have to do a swap, of course. But yeah, you just take one of these, check what's in it, and then you're good to go. And once you're done with that, this is the part that I am really proud of myself for, honestly. This is one of the coolest things I've made in a while. So I know this isn't exactly that complicated, but I designed it completely myself, so check that out. It launches you upwards on several slime blocks, and then it's completely flush with the floor. Now, obviously, there's a giant crater here because we were working on this insane redstone contraption. And, yeah, this took a while to design and get all the timings right. I'm not going to show the entire thing about how it works, but, we had a close call with the redstone we already had set up. But basically, I am very happy with it now. And obviously, we're going to cover this area over with grass blocks in a second. Or not in a second, but after we're done working on this. I think I'll leave this part open for like a day or two just to make sure if there's any like bugs with the system, we can do some maintenance. But this part I obviously have confirmed is working, so we can cover this back up and make it look natural, and you would never even know that the exit is here. So I'm super, super happy with that. And yeah, I'm honestly impressed that I was actually able to design that. But moving on from there, last things we got here, we got this chest completely filled up with fishing rods. I just crafted a bunch. I was going to use ones that had unbreaking and mending, but literally, even if they have unbreaking, they still run out super fast. So I realized it's probably just faster to do this and craft more if we have them, because we have as many sticks as we need, and we can get string from Will's gunpowder farm if we need to. And then over here, if you use one of the fishing rods and then you're done, you just drop it in here. And that's about it. So the game is good to go. We can take out this lever here because we don't need to have that open manually anymore. But you know what? Before we end today's episode, I want to do a quick test doing this game, see if we can beat it first try. Honestly, I probably won't be able to, but we'll see how it goes. I apologize if that last clip looked a little bit different than normal. I was bringing this contraption over from my creative world, and the shaders that we have on usually mess with the Lightmatica schematic mod. So I had to turn them off, but they're back on now, so that's fixed. Anyway, let's go ahead and test the game now, like I said. So all we have to do is grab a fishing rod. Now, we might not beat this, but it's okay either way. Still gonna see how it works. So obviously the biggest thing you want to check for is if the game ready lamp is on, because if you do it before it's reset, then it could mess things up. So I made sure to mention that in the rule book. But yeah, basically after that you just click start game, and then the gifts start being dispensed. So here we go. We're gonna want to grab as many red ones as possible. Okay, so we've got 2 so far. There we go. And also I added in the note blocks from before. Looks like we got a bunch of green ones. Oop, we missed. Got that one. Missed that one. Got that one. We have 4. Oh. Nope. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get this, guys. Maybe. That's 6, I think. 7. Oh, that might be it. Oh, no. Okay, I don't think we won it, but that was a pretty good demonstration of how it works, I think. And if we were to have won the game, that would light up after a few seconds. You do have to stand here for a minute, but yeah, that would light up, and then we would drop down into the bottom. Obviously, I just showed you guys that, so no need to go down there again. But man, wow, I'm so happy that this is all working as I expected now. Well, guys, that's probably gonna have to be it for today's episode, but I wanted to just say a couple of things because if you've stuck around this long, good for you, and thanks for watching the video all the way through. But I just wanted to say that this is actually one of the funnest projects I've done in a while. Funnest, most fun, whatever it is. I don't know, I might have to do more redstone on the channel because even though this might not be the greatest contraption, I'm pretty proud of myself for getting this put together because I'm not like a huge redstoner. And just a disclaimer, please, if you were going to, don't leave a comment saying like, oh, you could have used this circuit instead, or oh, Mumbo Jumbo has a video how to do this better, because part of the fun is designing the minigame on my own, so I tried to use as little external resources as possible, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the process of that. I certainly enjoyed doing it, so if you want to see more videos like this with more redstone involved and more of my own custom designs, please be sure to let me know because I really enjoyed it, which I've said about 5 times. But moving on from that, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more content coming soon because obviously we're back on that Cornerstone grind all the time. And yeah, leave a comment letting me know what you thought and if you want to see more stuff like this episode. Without further ado, guys, this has been Bodhi, and I will see you all in the next episode.